here with Professors Mike Fair and Noah Burns from Stanford University, both of whom have recently published books in their field, but written for people without much experience. So, Mike has published Absolutely Small, which is a book about quantum mechanics and quantum chemistry with no math, and now is expanding his quantum empire with Even Smaller, a book written for elementary school students. Mike, could you tell us a bit more?
Certainly. So, first off, you could think of it as a really great age to start teaching kids about chemistry. I mean, it is elementary school after all, so you could relate the elements to something they already know a lot about. And so where I'm going with this and what you'll see is that what I want to say, the thing, look, kids are just so inquisitive about the world and curious about positrons and quantum mechanics and Bose-Einstein condensates that just look, this is going to be a really great age to start teaching kids about quantum mechanics, and we'll cover more on that later.
I think that's fair. And Noah, you've written Simply Synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your inspiration?
So I've been hearing a lot of this publisher perish as it comes in academia, and Mike here has had just an enormous amount of success with Absolutely Small. Just really phenomenal success, topping the charts in sales, honestly redefined the genre of books written on quantum chemistry for the layperson who also doesn't want to do math, beating out some stiff competition from the people over at Hooked on Photonics. I mean, it's got 4.5 out of 5 stars on Amazon. It is the scientific zeitgeist of our generation. And, I mean, there's even references to it in Chemwipes.
That is quite inspirational. So what was your approach?
Well, I often think that organic chemistry, or orgo, as the kids like to say, gets a bad rap. It's usually seen as a pre-med weed-out course, but I think it's the sexiest branch of chemistry. And what I've tried to do is take a different perspective on it by taking out all the mathy bits. So all the really complex high-level mathematic operations like stoichiometry and percent yield, things like that so often get people hung up on orgo problems, and I've just gotten rid of it. But you know, it wasn't just about the math. All numbers had to go. So things like hybridization, that's not in there either. In fact, there's not a single number in the entire text. No molecular formulas, no page numbers. And I'm pretty proud of that fact, because really, who wants to count?
Well, I certainly don't. So writing for the layperson versus the fellow academic, that had to be pretty different. So what was the biggest challenge for you, Mike?
Great question. So, as I often say in my quantum courses, the math can be very trivial. I mean, there are trivial solutions, after all, to plenty of equations, or systems of equations. And so, in my previous book, Absolutely Small, and in this book, Even Smaller, I don't think it's too big of a stretch to breeze over those details. In fact, I found the hardest point for me to be explaining everything without my trusty laser pointer, though it doesn't seem to be working properly today.
Okay. And what about you, Noah?
Well, it really wasn't that hard, because all I was doing was taking just the reactions, the sexiest bits, and just distilling them down to their purest essence. And I think that was a beautiful thing to do, and I think a lot of other people will appreciate that.
I've never seen chalk that doesn't write.
All right. Well, thank you both for your time. And you can find Even Smaller and Simply Synthesis at an Amazon near you.